Donald Trump wanted American cities to be training grounds, and ICE listened. In Chicago, in the middle of the night, federal agents stormed an apartment building. Blackhawk helicopters, flashbangs, military-style trucks, all used in the raid. Now, witnesses say everyone was detained, no matter their status. Children were zip-tied together, separated from their parents. And the feds say that they arrested dozens of gang members. Also in the city, Charlie Kirk's group was given a front row seat to a raid inside a Walmart.
What?
Amazing. Secretary Noem was here. They rolled up a couple of guys, and it's rowdy. There's a lot of people around. Everyone's filming. The Secretary of Homeland Security is right now doing raids at Walmart.
So, as forewarned, I mean, we have a situation in which American cities are at the center of this ICE crackdown, and there's indiscriminate use of force against Americans, non-Americans, people here legally, people here illegally. And on the right, nobody seems to care. In fact, they love it.
I saw a video from a local station in Chicago, and residents of a community there were describing an ICE raid and like what they saw. Two things struck me. One, they were talking about things that happened to them. They were talking about how they were treated in this ICE raid. These are the people that, I guess, by virtue of being born here in America, are entitled to being treated like human beings. The second thing is that they were all black. And I'm gonna say something, we saw this coming. We knew the neighborhoods where these ICE raids would take place. We knew that a lot of these things wouldn't happen in Beverly Hills or in Coconut Grove or any of those places like that. We knew that there would be collateral damage, that there would be trauma that would be inflicted on our communities. We knew that people would be detained, scared. We knew that children would have to see things that they shouldn't have to see. And all of this for political theater so that we look tough on immigration for everyone. It's a horror show. And I do think if it hasn't already happened, that it'll be something that even the most conservative of Americans will get tired of seeing human beings treated this way. At least that's my hope.
Man, that's how they change the civil rights. I mean, that's the only way. When people across the country started seeing people get hosed down on TV every night, South, that's what made a difference. But that's what they're doing? I didn't know it was like that. That's inhumane. Because the papers writing about it just wasn't doing enough.
One neighbor said the kids were crying. They looked very distraught. I was out there crying when I seen the little girl come around the corner because they were bringing kids down too, had them zip tied to each other. Saying that there were trucks, military-style vans used to separate adults from kids. What's going on?
I haven't seen any of this, so I certainly am not aware of particular neighborhoods that are targeted. Obviously, I support them finding and arresting people who are here illegally. And in the community they're in, again, I can't justify, I haven't seen which communities that they're targeting.
Well, one detail that's been left out is that they were targeting Trenda Aragua. And so Trenda Aragua is a violent transnational gang. They send illegal immigrants here to the United States. They traffic drugs, they traffic people, they commit violence. You
see, Van ain't playing it. Hold on. You can see Van ain't playing the shit. Hold on.
They traffic drugs,
this whole movement. Watch his fingers.
Traffic people, they commit violence.
He ready to snap.
They inflict misery everywhere they go. And 37 people were arrested. That was the purpose of the raid, the targeting of Trenda Aragua, some of the most violent people in our hemisphere. And when they come here, nothing good happens. That was
okay, so if it was targeting, I don't think anybody has a problem with targeting. Right. When you clear out an apartment building and you zip tie children and you arrest and detain everyone. Scott, hold on, Scott. You and me, we're talking here.
They're turning quick.
If they arrest children, they arrest everyone, citizens and non-citizens, for hours, detain them, deprive them of their liberty, for no matter how long. You are fine with that.
They didn't arrest children. But
I didn't say they arrested them. They put them in zip ties. But if that makes a difference to you, go ahead.
Here's what makes a difference to me. If the federal government knows that there is a nest of Trenda Aragua in a city like Chicago, they have a responsibility. They have an obligation to go get them. It is unfortunate, to answer your question, that there are children put in harm's way by these violent gangs. But that is going to be the reality.
Is it unfortunate or is it a violation of their rights, is the question? Because, I mean, in this country, we have rights against searches and illegal
you're suggesting
searches
these
and
children
seizure.
should be effectively human shields for Trenda Aragua. I don't agree.
What I'm asking, I want to make it clear. I don't like. I know that Trenda Aragua and gangs and whatever, it's a catch-all to treat people however you want, to go in there and shred the Constitution or whatever else it is that you want to do. What I'm asking you is this: do you think that children should have been zip-tied and pulled out of an apartment complex and traumatized like that? Yes or no?
I don't think children should be put in harm's way by transnational gangs.
Just answer the question. Yes or no? Do you think that children?
I don't accept the premise of your question.
I'm asking
the
you
government's not
whether
putting
or not.
children in harm's way.
See, I think that's the bullshit. If it's a simple yes or no question, you can't have a heart. And that's where people look at a lot of Republicans and say, y'all some pieces of shit. Even if Democrats are supporting the humane treatment of, y'all can flip it and say it's about immigration. Y'all supporting money going to illegal immigrants. It's been in that whole narrative, and that's complete bullshit, because he's asking you, if somebody did a raid on your fucking house and zip tied your wife and your daughter, would you be okay with it as an American citizen? Me? No. I'm quite sure this guy wouldn't either. And if they came in and said Nicaragua, Taraguaco, whatever the damn Argentinian gang, Venezuelan gang is, he wouldn't give a shit, because his rights would have been violated, regardless of race or party, to be factual.
Harm's way. Trenda Aragua.
Real calm now. Real calm. Like
they're the ones putting children in harm's way.
Gentlemen and gentlemen, we have a responsibility for the way we treat people with the power that we have here in America.
Facts.
And we have a standard that we should treat human life with.
Facts.
And I'm asking you very clearly, concisely, should children be treated that way? Does Scott Jennings like that?
I don't accept the premise of your question.
All right, cool.
I don't believe that the premise of your question is accurate. I would ask you back. Should children be allowed to live in an apartment building with Trenda Aragua? Should the entire...
How do you know who the fuck is in the building? Do you think people apply to an apartment to get housing and say, damn, there's a checkbox of, are there gangs here? Is there drug activity? Is there prostitution? Is there free Wi-Fi? Is cable included? Like, well, what the fuck? It's frustrating dealing. Not even dealing, just hearing the bullshit. And this is where CNN, honestly, this is why I stopped watching them. Because they'll get one of the biggest assholes on the other side who's just going to stir the pot for Democrats and people, and their blood pressure's going to be boiling. They're going to hate this guy. Throw fucking pie at him in damn Publix or Kroger when they see him all weekend. If you're in Sam's with this guy and you're a Democrat, most likely you'll be like, I hope the bleach spills. Bust your ass walking out. That's the game they play. But then reality of it is there's some Americans who get right along with this line of thinking. And they're not going to think logically that their child is it.
Community of Chicago have to live with Trenda Aragua because they hide behind these children.
But here's the thing.
That's my question.
I think the answer to that is clear. No, they should not be put in harm's way. But the difference is in this situation is I don't want to be Trenda Aragua. I don't want my law enforcement to act like Trenda Aragua. That is the distinction.
Do you don't want to leave it? Do you just want to leave it and say, well, they have kids in there, let's just move on?
No, but can't law enforcement figure out a way? I don't think this is the first time children have been in an environment where dangerous people have been around them. And I'm most certain that in most of those circumstances, those children aren't zip tied and carried out like animals. What I am wondering is, okay, let's put this fact pattern on any other placement. Let's put it on a school, right? What if there was a gang member in a school and by this calculation, it would seem like the children in the school, in order to get that one gang member or two gang members,
Handcuff the
would
whole
get.
biology
It's not
class.
one gang member. It's 37
Well,
people in an
let's say
apartment
there's
building.
five.
It's a large apartment building. That's part of the fact pattern here. I mean, here's another one from our reporting. Tenants said it appears everyone in the building was detained by federal officers, including U.S. citizens. It was scary, said one, because I had never had a gun in my face. That person lives in the building. They asked my name and my date of birth and asked me, did I have any warrants? I told them no, I didn't. Fisher, this person says, she was handcuffed anyway before being released around 3 a.m. and was told anyone with outstanding warrants, even if it was unrelated to immigration, would not be released. So in the again, like people
seriously.
live in apartment buildings all over this country.
I promise that.
Is that where you should go?
Wait a second.
Should I just go to an apartment building and hide?
Wait. I'm talking about the way that citizen of this country was treated. By the way, I just want to be clear. I think that everybody that's created in the image of God should be treated with respect. And I thought that part of the American ideal was that, but that's gone. I promise y'all will still be invited to Mar-a-Lago if you say that it is wrong that children were zip-tied and that American people, American citizens were detained without any warrant or suspicion.
Briefly detained? In an effort to get 37 Trenda Aragua members?
So tell me.
What you're suggesting is that no enforcement can take place.
So would you be okay being detained so that the gang members, would you be okay with your rights being violated and you be held until 3 a.m. with your family member not knowing why? Is that okay? Because that's not okay with me.
Everybody here seems to believe that if you're Trenda Aragua, you can go hide in an apartment building, and because there are other people there, you just get to be left alone. That is not a reasonable enforcement position.
There's another option here, and it's actually an option that's utilized by law enforcement every single day in this country. When they are looking for violent people, they go look for those violent people. They do not subject the people around those violent people who have nothing to do with them with arrest, with guns in their faces, with being searched, with being zip-tied and handcuffed and detained. Every day in America, law enforcement does their jobs, and they don't do it like this. So why is suddenly this okay?
Every day in America, you're not necessarily dealing with the most violent people in the hemisphere.
Yes,
we're not.
That's
so
who is living in these
Scott, there are violent people who are right here in this country, American citizens. They are in gangs. They were born here. Their parents were born here. Their grandparents were born here.
Believe me, we know.
Those people are dealt with by law enforcement every day. Again, it's a real basic question. If you lived in an apartment building and there happened to be somebody who was guilty of a terrible crime in that building, and law enforcement barged in, guns blazing, and put every single person in that apartment building under arrest, you would be fine with that, including you and your family.
Not everybody is under arrest. They arrested 37 people. They arrested 37. You said everybody. It's not. It's 37 people.
This person was sleeping in their bed, and they were detained. They were put in handcuffs and detained until
Neither you nor I was there.
Neither
you nor I were there.
No,
but I know this. Now 37
you and your family,
violent people are now off the street.
Scott, you and your family, you are in an apartment building.
The fact that he's such an asshole, it just makes the base love this more. Their base at least. But it pisses me off. Not even for the fact of him being a Republican, it's just the fact of, bro, you can't even find middle ground with children being detained and zip tied. I think their example was good. Because if you've ever seen a police raid, they don't hit every neighbor. They hit the one they're looking for. And they're prepared to hit the one. Unless, like they said, people had outstanding warrants, they would not be released. So it could be a bigger hit on black communities, like a lot of people were saying we should be fearful of. Chicago raids, I think it's only the beginning. There's Portland. I think they said the gangs there too. But we'll see. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and watching the video with me. Because Abby Phillips shows kind of lit, but she's very beautiful. But I don't know if I could watch this because the drama's going to get blood pressure. There's no need. We already have enough shit.